Okay, and we're back. Second attempt at this. And I have an idea. So if it wasn't a matter of trust, and I'm only saying this because I was only just editing episode 47 earlier today. This is also, as of right now, starting on the next day after the previous fake game over. The bad ending, whatever. Matt said that he wanted to have something to be able to blackmail the killer. So let's maybe go with that, and hopefully that is what the killer needs to turn on Matt. Your client once told me something very interesting. We were talking about you, and this is what they said. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. Yes, that's where the video comes in. With that, I can keep him at bay, and even blackmail him if I want. Your client didn't trust you at all. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. What do you have to say to that, Shelly the Killer? It looks like I was being deceived from the very beginning. Yes, by a natural, that is the kind of person they are. Your client is a person who only thinks and plots of how to use the people around them to protect themselves from any and all dangers that may arise. That is the true nature of your client. I have one question for the witness. Yes? You told us one thing numerous times during your testimony. You said that you detest traitors most of all. Yes, that's right. But what if that traitor was your own client? What would you do then? That's obvious. I would break our contract in that case. And then, that client would become my next target. For the honor of the Killer name, even if it takes an eternity, I would follow that person to the ends of the earth to exact my punishment. I see. That's all I wanted to know. So the traitor becomes the killer's next target. I get it. This is how we'll turn this case around. Mr. Wright. Yes? My contract with my client is over as of now. I seem to have a new job on my hands. I will now return to you your precious item. What the? I'm not an item! Maya, I thought I'd never see you again. Oh, thank goodness! This trial appears to have come to its conclusion. However, I'm sort of, I don't quite know what just happened there with the client and the witness, and Miss Von Karma, what is that? She always has you in her sights. Now, I do believe it's time to finally hand down a verdict. Mr. On Guard. Looks like somehow you got what you wanted. You will finally receive the acquittal you wanted so badly. You should be happy. But before that, I would like to make one final statement. Sometime in the near future, one very betrayed assassin may appear before you. Needless to say, that man is very good at what he does. I'm sure you would understand what I mean if you watch this video. Help me! Now then, Your Honor, the verdict, if you please. Is this alright with you, Mr. Wright? We finally reached the end of a very long battle. Whether he's convicted or acquitted, there's no escape for him now. Go on, Phoenix. Plead whichever way your heart tells you. Right, Chief. Maya did say to get him a guilty verdict no matter what. He may be our client, but he can't escape justice. Matt on guard. Even though I'm a lawyer, I cannot make your crime disappear. I think a guilty verdict is appropriate here. Me? My wonderful self, guilty? Even if you got an acquittal, the instant you set foot outside the detention center, your life would be in danger. No matter which way you look at it, you can't run away from your crime anymore! No! Guilty, 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 guilty! As always, it looks like we have uncovered the real truth. We? I don't remember you helping out much in this! Mr. Edgeworth, how is Matt on guard? I have left Miss Von Karma in charge of his incarceration. I'm sure he's getting a full course meal of whip leather right about now. Very good. It was a close one, wasn't it, witness? Yes. I plan to pay my debt to society for my own crime, Your Honor. The first time I was called to the witness stand during this trial, all I felt was despair. She must be talking about the time Edgeworth really went after her. I guess she's trying to forgive him for what he did. This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. If you're going to say you would choose death, that is no concern to me. But after that, when I was alone at the detention center, that's the first time I really saw myself for who I am. And today, when the two of you used your combined strength to convict Matt, I felt like I'd finally been saved. Wow. This is the first time I've ever seen her smile. I'm really happy that you two were in charge of this case. I really don't know how to express how I feel at this moment. This is the first time I felt comfortable with myself, with who I am. Thank you so much, everyone. It looks like we've resolved everything at last. As for myself, there are still a few things I'm confused about. But everyone seems to be in good spirits, and that is good enough for me. That is all. This court is adjourned. You were great out there, Phoenix. What I did out there was right, wasn't it? This is the first time you've not gotten your client off. You got them a guilty verdict this time. But you have to look past all of that to what's really important. You now realize that there's something more than just getting a not guilty, right? Yes, I understand now. Phoenix, think back for a second. Think to the moments before Miss Von Karma arrived with the final pieces of evidence. Think about the incredible decision you had to make. Now then, Mr. Wright. Let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. Should I side with justice? Or should I save Maya's life? My client, Matt Ungard, is... Is he guilty, or is he not guilty? Those were your choices then. And your answer? Your answer spoke to what being a lawyer means to you. Right! Edgeworth! I have good news. Maya is now safe in police custody. Really? Pearls? You're telling us the truth, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, she's quite safe. She's on her way here as we speak in a patrol car. Ah! Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya is safe! You did it! You really did it, Mr. Nick! Ow! She punches deceptively hard for a kid! I believed in you! I kept saying to myself, Mr. Nick will save her! Mr. Nick will save her! Thanks! Ow! What's wrong? Miss Von Karma! About earlier. Thanks. Ow! Why are you still smiling, Mr. Phoenix Wright? You lost! Your perfect win record has now been crushed! And yet, you are still happy? I don't think you'll ever understand, Miss Von Karma. How dare you? Don't worry. She may in time. After all, I was like that myself until a year ago. Edgeworth? For my own personal victories, and for guilty verdicts. I used every dirty trick in the book, and so my win record remained spotless. But a man appeared and stood fast against that selfish me. I fought him in my usual manner and tasted my first defeat. I felt like I had lost everything because of that. And then it was my turn to sit in the defendant's chair. And I was saved by that person I called my enemy. I couldn't forgive myself for all that had happened, so I left the prosecutor's office. And I left that note. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death. Huh. As well you should have. A prosecutor who has shamed himself with defeat should crawl into a hole and die. But that was not what happened. After I left the prosecutor's office, I finally came to realize something. And it was in that moment of clarity that everything began to change. What foolish nonsense! We prosecutors use anything we can to attack the defendant. But every time we did so, no matter how desperate the situation, instead of giving up like most people, that man would hold strong with his undying faith. And then, before I knew it, I began to trust in that man as well. What? You trusted your enemy? It doesn't matter how many underhanded tricks a person uses. The truth will always find a way to make itself known. The only thing we can do is to fight with the knowledge we hold and everything we have. Erasing the paradoxes one by one. It's never easy. We claw and scratch for every inch. But we will always, eventually, reach that one single truth. This, I promise you. The truth? Yes, that's the reason why prosecutors and defense attorneys exist. But I'm sure you knew that already, didn't you, Wright? That's why you couldn't forgive me. This man who went into hiding. Isn't that right? This man who only had his sights set on victory, who ran away into the night. Is Mr. Edgeworth right, Mr. Nick? You really let me down. When you disappeared, I felt betrayed. The reason I decided to become a lawyer to begin with was because I believed in the things you said to me all those years ago. And you betrayed your own words. That's why, 1 year ago, I made up my mind. I decided that the Miles Edgeworth I knew had died. At least, that's what I told myself. You pathetic fool! Miss Von Karma! I don't want to hear the wretched whimpering of a disgraced loser! A Von Karma is someone who is destined to be perfect. Miles Edgeworth, you are no longer worthy. You are no longer worthy of being a Von Karma. And neither am I. It's over. It's all over. Francisca threw something on the ground just now. This is an electromagnetic receiver. Isn't this the thing she used to track Detective Gumshoe? I'll return this to the precinct later. There's something else. Isn't that Miss Von Karma's whip? I'll never set foot in another courtroom again. I'm sure that's what she's saying by this action. You should keep this, right? Okay. Nick! Yep. Maya! Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! Oh, Nick! I knew you would come through! You got him guard convicted, like I knew you would! And on top of that, you even rescued me! Well, of course I did! You know I would never desert you. But we sure pressed our luck this trial. You're really lucky to be standing here. Whatever. Look, it's over, okay? Besides, if I did croak, I would just come back and haunt you like a bad ghost through Pearly. Is it really that easy to do something like that? I don't know, Phoenix. Mia does it all the time. Thanks a lot, Nick. Don't mention it. Maya. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth! I'm relieved you're alright. Hey! Looks like you've made some real progress, Mr. Edgeworth! Well, I suppose I'm a little different from who I was a year ago. Heh. Alright! I think it's time we go out of this depressing place. Huh? Where are we going? Food, Nick! Food! Grub, chow! I'm starved! I'm so hungry, even you look like a nice juicy burger on a bun to me, Nick. You think I look like a burger? I'm a prime rib at least. Come with us, Mr. Edgeworth, please! If you insist. Alright, so how about we hit up our usual burger joint? Don't be silly, Nick! Huh? This case messed up that awesome evening and got in the way of my gourmet food. So I've decided that we have to make it up by having another feast. Another feast? Come on, Nick, food! Oh, jeez. I'm sure you alright? I mean, he was in a car accident, and his coat was taken. Looks like he had a concussion, though. My god. Hey, pal. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. Gumshoe, are you alright? Yeah, but I'm really embarrassed. I didn't think I'd hit a telephone pole of all things. A telephone pole? Then it wasn't a red light that got him? You did it again, city boy. I felt like my dear old heart was gonna give out on me, and I ain't joking. Yeah, it was more exciting than the very last episode of The Steel Samurai. Thanks. Now looky here, Mr. Snooty Prosecutor. Don't you reckon you bullied Mr. Wright too hard? If you don't stop being a lot nicer to him, he might just kick it. Tonight, even. I'll keep that in mind. Well, come on now. Everyone gather around. Y'all gonna get your picture taken by a genuine professional photographer. Looks like Lotta bought herself a new camera. They didn't give him her old one back? Well, pal, at least we can put this messy case behind us now. Come on, tonight's all about eating. So let's go chow down, pal. Amen to that, pal. Amen. You know, when you think about it, you're the one who saved the day, detective. Huh? Me? Really think so? He's right. If it wasn't for the 3 items you took, I think this trial would have had a very different ending. Well, you know, it's... Huh? Wait. That's odd. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I'm sure I took 4 things in total, sir. What? 4? Yeah, I'm sure I put one of the items in my coat pocket. There was a 4th item? Oh, come on, y'all, it's over. But, whoo, boy, I tell you, you really are something else. Between getting accused of murder and getting kidnapped, never a dull moment with you, huh? You think? Why did you look so happy about that? But being shut away for 2 whole days. Weren't you scared? Yeah, it was really scary. I felt so hopeless. So, to keep my mind off of things, I drew a picture. Sounds like you had it rough, gal. So where's this picture of yours? Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see Mystic Marty's picture. You know, I don't know where it went. Aw, that's too bad. Oh, well, it's all right. Wasn't anything important anyway. Aw. Sure is nice to finally see them both smiling again. What is it, Edgeworth? This thing is picking something up. Ah, that's Miss Von Karma's receiver! Thanks to her, I had the most awful experience of my life, sir. I can't believe she stuck a tracking device on me. That's odd. Even though you're standing right here, the tracking device seems to be in a different location. It's probably busted or something, sir. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm afraid it's about time for me to excuse myself. I still have some work to do. Huh? But Mr. Edgeworth, you haven't even eaten anything yet! You've eaten way too much, you glutton! I had fun tonight. Now, if you'll excuse me. Wait! What? I just want to say thanks, Edgeworth. You really saved me out there. If anyone should be saying thanks, it should be me, right? I feel like words alone aren't enough here. I wonder if there's anything I can give him to express how I feel. Ah, damn it, I was gonna try to save. Okay. Francisca's whip? For some reason, it's in the court record. There's also the calling card. Huh. Like, those are the only two things I could think of that express it. I wonder if there's anything I can give him to express how I feel. I don't know. I'm torn between the whip and the calling card. I was really hoping I'd be able to just kind of put a save state right there. Ah, crap. The weird thing is just the whip is now in our court record now. I mean, it could just be like a memento. Do I give him the calling card or do I give him Francisca's whip? I'm not sure. I really don't want to have to go back and redo everything if I screw up. Oh boy. Last decision of the game, I think. Nothing like that's not gonna do anything. Give him the bear. Give him a gun. I'll try. I honestly don't know. It's either the whip or the calling card, and I really don't know what to think. Do I dare just look up what it should be? I did screw up Acros, and it felt kind of bad with Regina afterwards. I kind of feel bad if I kind of screw up the last thing here, because it's like, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. Instead of having full closure. No, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Let me check. Watch me be completely wrong on both. Alright, it was one of them. It is, in fact, the whip. What's this? Thank you. It's all thanks to you two. You and her. You don't need to thank me. I was only doing my job.
Looks like Mr. Edgeworth left, Mr. Nick. Hey, Mystic Maya?
Yes, Pearly?
I guess you two can go back to being lovey-dovey, right? You and Mr. Nick, I mean?
Pearly, would you cut it out already? You're embarrassing me! Anyway, so who's paying for this lovely dinner party?
As if you need to ask. Everyone say thank you to Nick. Huh?
Yeah, I'm kinda at the point where I can't even buy instant noodles, pal. So I kinda already put your name on the bill.
Huh? Yeah, I got me a situation like that myself. There's this camera shop in this hotel, see? And I just bought myself this good old beauty here. It'd be better anyhow. It better be anyhow for $3,000. Actually, I reckon you bought it for me since it's on your tab and all. Isn't this great, Mr. Nick? Yeah, Nick.
Why do I suddenly feel like screaming?
Aw, you need to hold back now, you hear?
Yeah, pal. Time to let it all out.
This is gonna be the first time I hear the real you! Go on, it's been a while since I heard you say it. I've been busy being a hostage and all.
Alright then, if you say so. Says objection to all the costs being added to him.
Anyway, you really came through for me, Nick. I had to hide that letter, but I knew you'd find it. I really feel like I've been living on the edge lately. I mean, I've escaped death 3 times now. Pretty cool, huh? I feel like a pro. This has been Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. I'm so happy that you could save Mystic Maya, Mr. Nick. And I'm so happy for the 2 of you. Speaking of which, I think this hotel is a popular place for honeymooners. So I sort of made reservations for the 2 of you, just in case. I and Pearl manage that. Anyway, thoughts about the game? Honestly, I think the game is pretty good. I think I may just need to save it for after all the character stuff.
Well, pal, looks like I'm back on the force again. Mr. Edgeworth had a long talk with the chief, and he got me reinstated for my sake. I heard him say things like, letting that one go is bad for all society. I knew it! Crashing headlong into everything is the only way to live, pal. So, I guess one thing I'm kind of iffy about was the whole thing with Cyclops. Oh, Maggie? I'm Maggie Bird, and retiring this uniform as of today, sir. I'm going to be a waitress from now on, and bring smiles and joy to the people who come by the restaurant, sir. I hope you'll stop by sometime, Mr. Wright. God, it's been so long since I've seen Maggie. So, yeah, I'm just gonna wait until after all character stuff. Oh boy. Yes. Are you here to visit patient? I'm Director Hottie. Recently, yes, that girl, you know, I haven't seen her around. Yes, but I remember, if I even laid so much an eye on her, I'd go crack. Didn't matter if I got whipped though. Yes. Yeah, boy, it always just feels wrong trying to do Hottie. But yeah, like I said, just waiting for all the character stuff so I won't be interrupted. It's time to begin our quest of world circus domination, sweetie! And to let the world know we are serious, I plan to make a fabulous flight to Zimbabwe. Hey, Max, what do you think Zimbabwe's like? Do you think there are castles made of cake and bunnies who can talk? I think if there are any talking bunnies, even they wouldn't laugh at Mo's jokes. It is kind of nice to just see all the other people that we met during the cases. I'm ready! There's no way these jokes are gonna fall on deaf ears. I'm gonna be more contemporary with my humor. Mo Curls represent! We've got a new act all worked out. Prepare for us. Hallelujah chorus. Say something, will you? You're supposed to start this off. Get on with it. Oh, they try to remember all these voices that I did all throughout the course of the game. What's this? Drat, ordinary electric razor recharging on its stand! Can't believe this, really! How long do they plan on making me do this?
Oh, but it's Edgy Poo's idea, so that means it must have a deep hidden meaning.
But why do I get the feeling they wouldn't forget about me? Would they? They wouldn't forget about me, would they? It's never like this in the old days. Everyone thought the world of me. They call me Queen Wendy, treat me like royalty, and this is gonna feel like a pain in my heels. And blah 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 blah. Yeah, okay. We gotta get old back in there one more time, I guess. And are we done? Are we done with character stuff? No, we're not. I appreciate everything you and Mr. Edgeworth did for me from the bottom of my heart. Oh, that's right, I received a letter from Miss Von Karma. She said that after I get out, I should feel free to consult her about anything at all. I'm really thankful to have met everyone. I feel like Adrian got off real easy. I mean, yes, she did, like, convicted of obstruction of justice, but still. It's become difficult for me in this country as of late. As such, I will take a short leave of absence. If you would like to request my services, please be sure to visit my homepage. And we both be blessed with longevity. And it's broken. A Hitman for Hire website. My god, does that not scream Strega? The airport? Where are you going, Francisca?
How did you know I was here?
With this.
That's...
I heard you were planting things on a certain person. Things like tracking devices in his coat, for example.
Huh. That's just like you. I only planted it there because he was always wearing it. This filthy, drab coat of his. I don't know how it ended up in my luggage. But it's going in the trash, I promise you that.
Oh, that's right. Speaking of that man, he told me something very interesting. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir.
4 things?
It seems he put the last one in his coat pocket.
He put it in here? It doesn't matter anymore. The case is already over.
What are you going to do now?
That's none of your business.
Are you running away?
Shut up! You don't understand a thing! You can't possibly understand what it means to be Manfred von Karma's daughter!
Francisca.
So many expectations from everyone around me. Expectations I must fulfill. I'm expected to win no matter what. And failure, such a thing is not an option for me. My father was a genius. There's no doubt about that. But me, I'm no genius. I've always known that. But I had to be one. I had to.
You may not be a genius like your father, but you are a prosecutor. You have been and always will be.
No, I'm not. Not anymore. I've even thrown my whip away.
Speaking of that, Wright gave me this to hold on to. Right. You knew something like this would happen, didn't you? I'm going to say this again. We prosecutors do not fight for personal honor or pride. I hope you will think deeply about what you should be striking down with that whip.
You haven't changed a bit. You've
You've always left me alone and walked on ahead without me. Miles Edgeworth, I've always hated you. And then, finally, my chance to take my revenge on you arrived. If I could win against that man, if I could make Phoenix Wright bow down in defeat, then this girl you left behind would have risen higher than you. That was supposed to be my revenge. I see. You know, I can't do it. I can't change who I am. I can't throw away everything I've been until today. I believe you can. Just like how Adrian Andrews did. Adrian Andrews? You were going to use her during the trial, right? But you were dependent on your father by using his tactics. Isn't that right? Today, you chased after me after I had left you behind all these years. And that's why we're standing here now, side by side. But I have no intention of stopping. If you say you're going to quit your walk down the prosecutor's path, then this is where we part ways, Franziska von Karma. I am Franziska von Karma! Don't think I'm going to walk in your shadow forever! Our battle begins now! So you better prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth! Phoenix Wright. One day, someday, I'm sure we'll meet again in battle. Until then, this last piece of evidence that never made it to you, I'll take good care of this fourth piece, so I can give it to you, when at last we meet again. So that was Maya's gift, was just Phoenix's face on Shelly's calling card. And now we can do the thoughts on Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. So, thoughts on the project. Really, the only thing I kind of didn't really like were Cyclops. Sometimes the Cyclops, it kind of took half the game for me to really be used for what exactly they were kind of meant to be for. And I also didn't really like that if you didn't do super well when it came to discovering Cyclops, you were heavily penalized when it came to the trial the next day. So, that's, like, I suppose one thing is that it does make the investigation portion a bit more higher stakes, I guess? And it means that you don't necessarily face mash everything, which I suppose is the other thing that it's kind of meant to do. But I think one thing that I just don't like when it comes to Ace Attorney is being penalized for trying to discover information. That's why I wasn't really a big fan of the Cyclops, because even though, yes, you are putting things together, you're still in a discovery phase. That's also why I hated it when basically you are penalized for trying to push information when it came to, like, Mo. And it was, while it built tension with the killer at the end, with the killer, it felt more like the game trying to do mind games with the player. So that I didn't mind as much because it's high stakes, it's the climax of the entire game. It feeling like whether or not you should push forward feels like a very intentional choice, and that was perfect. I do like it when it's meant to build suspense, especially when the game's built up to that point. Randomly saying, oh yeah, if you push information on these specific things that we're not gonna tell you, we're gonna penalize you for no good reason. Like, I don't like it when the game tries to penalize you for trying to discover information. Trying to apply information, which I guess, that is kind of the weird thing with Cyclops. Cyclops are in that weird place where you are putting together information, but you're still in a discovery phase. So, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure whether or not Cyclops will continue on or if they're just a one-off for Justice for All. I suppose we'll find out when we eventually do Trials and Tribulations. Overall, though, my thoughts on each of the cases. Case 3, really freaking weird. Case 1's just tutorial. I did like cases 2 and 4. 4 was really good for being a big climax. Even though it was more just a more self-contained story as opposed to case 4 from the first game, when it dealt with everything dealing with DL6, and it was a big culmination of everything that the game had been building up to that point. Whereas 4 definitely felt like higher stakes with Maya being gone the entire case. Sorry, slightly interrupted. It definitely felt like it was a lot more higher stakes because Maya was in constant danger the entire time. And I think what also made case 4 a lot more interesting was the fact that you were defending a guilty party, and you realized that halfway through the case. So trying to find the contradictions was less so finding lies within someone's testimony, but creating reasonable doubts, which is something that a lawyer actually is supposed to do. Like, even if a defense attorney is defending a guilty party, their job is to find reasonable doubt to help their client. So that felt a lot more interesting and a bit of a twist on what you're supposed to be doing. And I really like that. And I really hope that there's, even if it's not necessarily just a case of you're defending a guilty party anyway, if it's something similar with that where you know this person's telling the truth, but you're trying to create reasonable doubt, I really hope that there's some other case in the series that does that, because I really like that. Trying to find the evidence that you have to create reasonable doubt, as opposed to just poking lies through testimony. I really like that. I really, really like that, and hope that there is at least another case that does that. I don't expect Ace Attorney to do that for all cases, because again, you're supposed to be defending innocent clients most of the time. In fact, all the time up until case 2-4. So it's something that I hope that the series continues to do. Case 2, I've heard, kind of basically sets up for a future case. So I assume we'll get more, like, the sort of continuation. Kind of like this was a little bit of a continuation of the Steel Samurai case in the first game. So, like, probably, if I would have to make a blind guess, I'm assuming that the second case of the third game, Maya gets arrested again for some sort of plot that Morgan has. Because that was very ominous and was just kind of left as a dangling plot thread. So I assume that I'm pretty sure I'm told that does get picked up. Whether or not Maya is a guilty party in it, I suppose we'll find out, again, when we eventually do Trials and Tribulations. Overall, do I like this game more than the first game? I would say overall, yes. And I'm just trying to go back to the first game, and I think part of it was just trying to learn everything, but I'm also going back to the final case when it came to Emma and Lana. That one just was really long-winded. That one was extremely long. That took up like half of the entire project, was that case alone. So it dragged on. It was still a good case, but there were also just jumps in logic that I remember from that And considering just, again, how long it took and how much it dragged, I do think that everything dealing with DL6 was great. I think the case with, like, Lana and Emma kind of brings it down a little bit just because, again, just how long-winded it was. And that took long enough for that. The screen faded. So yeah, overall, I would say that I do like, overall, Justice for All more than original Ace Attorney. Some things I don't like, Cyclops I don't like, but certain things I did really like trying to find that reasonable doubt. So, I'm not sure when I will get to do Trials and Tribulations. I've also got the Apollo series that just came out too, so there's that. Then there's Great Ace Attorney on top of that. So, there's gonna be a lot more Phoenix Wright. I do really like just continuing on in this series, and there's a lot more games to cover. So, probably not gonna do Trials and Tribulations anytime soon. I do know what my next few projects are going to be. But I would like to do Trials and Tribulations at some point. And then once we're done with that, again, Apollo series. So, look forward to more Ace Attorney content in the future. But with that, we're gonna call it a day here. So, until next time, everyone, take care.